What is up, YouTube? Cryptic TCG here, coming at you today with another deck profile. Today, this is a bit of a different profile than normal. This past locals was my OTS championship. I already had my invite, so I just wanted to take something that I was going to have a bit more fun with and enjoy a lot more. And I took Infernoids, and I got top 4 with the deck. It's a super solid deck. I really enjoyed it. Leading up to the event, I tested a bunch of different variants because I wanted to make the most competitively viable version of Infernoid, which I think I did. Spoilers, this is playing Fiendsmith. There are a number of different budget alternatives that you can do if you don't have access to the Fiendsmith that I will point out when we get to them. But I think if you want to play this deck at its most competitive, Fiendsmith is probably the correct route to go, at least in my testing I found. Overall, I'm really happy with the list. There's one or two things I would change because I was on crunch time when I was building this. But overall, super solid deck and just really fun in general. Getting into the profiles, so starting off, 3 Decatron, best Infernoid in the deck. It's all of them in one. Not once per turn, just crazy card in general. Then for the big Infernoids, 2 Anoku, 2 Deviari, have to play 2 for Void Feast combo. If you draw one of them, you still want one in deck, and they're just really big bodies in general. I mean, Dark Hole and Feather Duster, just crazy card in general. Then for the smaller ones, there's 2 Sujet. You have to play 2 for the Void Feast. If you draw one, you still need one in deck, just so you can get your levels of 2 Decatron plus one of these. Then for the one of Infernoids, the one on Tundel, 1 Cyatomus, 1 Piatti, 1 Petrulia, 1 Harmodic, 1 Antra, and 1 Primus. This is my Infernoid count. I think this is the correct number to play. If you want just the bare minimum, you need to just combo and resolve. The deck is 50 cards. If you wanted to just not play the Fiendsmith stuff, you could just play a heavier Noid count plus a lot more fusion spells, like Dark Fusion, which is really strong because it stops targeting protection on Infernoid Evil, and then you can just combo that way. Just another route you can take the deck, but this is the number I chose. I didn't miss any additional names of any kind. It's just the names that I found most common when I was testing. For the Noid spells and traps, I just played one of each. I didn't play Breach. I just didn't think it offered enough to the deck to warrant a spot. Overall, I was happy with this. The only thing I might change was bumping up Imagination, because if you draw multiple Noids plus Imagination, it just allows you to combo through like stickier board states. But overall, this was fine. Feast is just not the be all end all this deck can do anymore, so 1 I think is perfectly fine. If you wanted to, you could probably side extras of this just for going first, so you just have a stronger presence. But just 1-on-1, I didn't miss any additional names. This was sided out a lot, depending on the matchup. If it's really grindy, if you resolve the graveyard effect of this, you're just winning. It's so strong that you just get all your Infernoids back. If you could do it the same 20% to the grave, that card would be busted. Then for the Fiendsmith, this is a really heavy Fiendsmith line, so 3 Engraver, the 1 Lacrima, the 1 Lorry, triple Tract, triple Sanct, 1 Paradise. We're just maxing out on all the Fiendsmiths that just give you additional bodies. You could potentially play multiple Lacrimas, but I just found it was a bit more cloggy. 3 Tracts, just as much access to the deck as possible. Sanct was really good. I saw it a lot. The fact that it just allows you to commit the Fiendsmith without using your normal summon. So if you open like this plus Decatron, you can just do this first, then Decatron, so you can do all your plays under the protection of like a Deviari. And then if you wanted to, then you could link off that Decatron and then use it as fusion material, because this bridges into the Infernoid stuff. Not completely, because you do have to have some Noid names engraved, but Sequence can summon any Fiend Fusion, so you can use that to summon Evil just by using materials engraved. So if you milled a bunch, then it just gives you access that way. Then we are playing a small Lightsworn package, so we are playing the 3 charge and the 2 Weiss. This mills a cost, so it's just immediately free in this deck. This is a Light Fiend, so it just gives you access to Fiendsmith that way. just the best way I found in general, just putting cards in the grave for free without giving your opponent much choice in the matter. It does suck if you activate this and they change Shifter, but this deck loses to Shifter anyway, so you just have to accept that. Weiss's effect can come up if you open it plus a charge, or you open 2 charges to get both of them. So you can stack the other one to the top of the deck, special summon it, and then mill 2. So you just get a free mill out of it. You could bump this to 3. Another one of the budget alternatives is you could just play a heavier Lightsworn engine. Weiss was just the only one that I found just wasn't like a hard brick. Like Phalis doesn't trigger when milled off a charge, only triggers when it's milled off a monster effect. Wolf is just super dead. If you draw it, it's like such a garnet that I just didn't think it was worth playing, and I didn't want to go up to 60 cards just to make it harder to draw Wolf. But it's just another way you could take the deck. But it performed really well. This engine caught a lot of people off guard. Just gives me access to a lot more plays, putting Noids in the grave, just all the fun stuff. Power spells, 3 thrust. This is the best card in the deck by far. There's no hand traps in the main deck. We just rely on like board breakers. So thrust, just being able to like crack your opponent's board and just like push into it. This gives you access to like instant fusion, talents. We do play grass, so this gives you access to grass, and it just gives you so much like potential if you can resolve it. Droplet, another thing for just going into people's boards, puts Noids in the grave, just baits like problematic cards, like turns off Detonator, turns off like Nightmare, Griffin, if that's a problem for you. Just a crazy card in general. Then 3 Chalice. Originally this was Imperm, but my problem with Imperm is playing into boards. As soon as you commit a body to it, your Imperm's dead. And you don't really want to hand trap your opponent because one hand trap's never going to stop them. So this being an Imperm does nothing like if they go first. I'd rather it be a Chalice and allow me to play into the board and give me the flexibility of it. Also, a lot of people on Crossout, they're not playing this as a Crossout target. If they do, sure, then that's on them. They're just built different. But for the majority of the time, Chalice will just always resolve. It does have niche circumstances. You can do some damage step shenanigans if you really want to like beat over something big, just buffing your monster. But yeah, overall it performed really well. Just another way to crack into boards. Talents, just to search off the thrust, only one. Reasoning, gone are the days of old where you only hit like Detonator or not Detonator, Decatron off of this. Now, when you activate this, it's either hitting Decatron or a light Fiend, so you get a Fiendsmith combo. When they see Infernoid, they just call level 1. Level 1 is probably just good to call blind if this is just the first thing you activate in general. So when you summon like an Engraver off of this and you just do Fiendsmith combo, it's just free to do. And there are times where you just get really lucky and mill just a bunch of Infernoids off of it. But the worst is just Fiendsmith combo. Instant Fusion summons out Evil. If there's an Infernoid engrave, Evil mills routinely between 9 and 10 throughout the event. And then Grass. Grass is not the end all that it can be. That's why we're not playing stuff like Left Arm Offering. It's just a card that you can activate it. You're going to mill like between 8 and 10. A lot of my opponents routinely on like 42, so we'll just take the mill 8. That's fine. If you're going second, then it's a lot more if it resolved because they've already like played in, especially if they're a heavy combo deck. But you don't need Grass to resolve. It's nice to have, but it's totally fine just to like Bear and Ash if the rest of your hand is strong. But it just puts a few Infernoids in grave, that's it. It's like, it's fine. You don't mind if it doesn't resolve. Obviously it's nice if it does, but extra deck, Fiendsmith stuff, 2 Moon, 1 Moon, sorry, 2 Requiem. You would go for Requiem a lot. You just can't risk it being Bestials. You just have to play multiples. Normally people side out Bestials anyway against you if they only see the annoyed stuff because it's all fire. 1 Necrocrypt, 1 Caesar, 1 Desiree, 1 Sequence, 1 Area Leader. Area Leader's crazy. Infernoids are fiends. One of the combos I routinely do was Sequence into this, dump Decatron, link these off into Princess, Princess Revive, the Decatron, Foolish something, and then you link those off into Flood. And then that just gives you a just the Flood, and then just gives you a Infernoid of your choosing in the graveyard that you can revive. Just gives you a lot of like free follow-up. Generic stuff, Princess, SP, Anima. The fact that this doesn't need a fire monster is insane. This card is just so free in this deck for Decatron and summoning back Evil. Just make sure you don't try to summon back any of the Infernoids because Princess cannot. Anima for Decatron if it gets negated, or for the one time where I went through both of my Requiems and I needed to go into a lorry. Not into a lorry, sorry. Link the lorry into this. Then for the Infernoids, 1 Flood, 1 Evil, 1 Tierra. Flood's just a crazy card. Non-targeting banish if something from your grave is banished. This has synergy with the Fiendsmith trap, so you can do it on your opponent's turn, so you can send something and banish another card they control. It's just 2 layers of interruption. It's crazy, and it's Solemn Strike on legs. And then if they try to destroy it, just floats into like one of the big guys. So yeah. Evil, this is the best monster in the deck. It routinely mills between 9 and 10 cards. And then when it's sent to the grave or banished, so this is also recursion, just searches a void spell or trap, just gives you access to like banishments, so you can get feast. Tierra, originally I did cut this, but I found that I just wanted a big imagination target, just to like push through boards, and this did come up once, and it did win me the game, so I'm glad I put it back in. And then the last card is just the 1 Typhon. Just something to like push through boards, deal with detonators, stuff like that. And then onto the side deck. 3 Meows, 3 Lancia, 3 Droll. This is just the hand trap lineup. Malice hit, Malice hit. Just for like the random like combo decks that maybe I just need to like weaken their board enough just to like push through with my like non-engine or like my Infernoids. So like stuff like Mermail, stuff like maybe like Mitsurugi Ryzeal, just wombo combo decks that you just need to slow down enough just to be able to push through their board. Thrust targets, we're going first. Storm, just push through back row. Search off of thrust, push through boards. Skill drain, didn't see it, didn't side it. In theory, it can come up. Anoku and Deviari are big. They tribute for cost, so they activate under this. Just your monsters are still alive, your opponents are not. Just simplifies the game state, makes it just a lot easier for you to push. And then the 1 talents to go along with the 1 in the main, just in case you want more just push power, just going into a board. But yeah, that's the list. Like I said, 50 cards. I think the list was pretty good. Well, it performed decently well, like I said. Budget alternatives, just play a bunch more Infernoids plus some fusion spells. Or if you want to go down the Lightsworn route, there's probably more that you can do with this. I just went for the bare minimum. I just went for the 3 mils off the charge. But if you wanted to play like Solar Recharge and stuff, it'd be really cool to see what can be done with that. I am going to test more with this. I think there's a lot more potential in this deck, just from the like couple of days that I looked into it. In general, it's just really fun. If you haven't played Infernoid, I definitely recommend picking it up, especially now. Stuff like Abyss Dweller, just running around, Infernoids don't activate, you get to summon them for free, get to push through boards. It's just really fun to do, honestly. The Infernoids is just a really fun mechanic to play with. But yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.